Welcome to Lazy Movie Reviews, and today we're going to talk about The Bride. So, with The Bride, it's an interesting movie. That's for sure. So when the movie starts up, we got Ida, however it's pronounced, Ida, and she's partying. She's out doing her little thing. She's having a good time with all the fellas and some other girls, and I'm thinking they're sex workers, I guess. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Make your money how you make your money, boo. And you can just tell, like, the actress that plays this character, she was perfect for this role. Like, she just embodied it. Like, you could just tell, just her mannerisms and the way she looked, that she just was hurting, and she was just numbing herself, getting drunk and doing whatever and just accepting the money, and she wasn't happy. And things kick off and things get a little wild, and she ends up dying. And that's not a spoiler. This is going to be spoiler free. That's not a spoiler. That's just basically what has to kick off the show, because how else is she going to turn into the bride? So it's going to be a little hard to talk about this movie and not ruin anything. So I'm not going to go step by step. I'm going to try to just, as quick as I can, just get to how I feel about the acts, from the first act all the way to the final act. Because as I told you guys in my first video, that's what my rating system is going to come. Well, when it comes to my rating system, that's what it's going to come down to on what I rate this film. So after our death scene, we get to meet Frankenstein. The first act is always where you're building onto your world, where you're being introduced to the characters. Of course, we already met Ida. You meet some characters around her. Only one is really important to remember, but the others are just, kind of there to support what she has going on there in the beginning. But after the death scene, we cut to Frankenstein. It's like 1819 or something like that when he first was created and all that. But now we're in like 1919 or something. We're like 100 years later, and he meets this other doctor. He's telling her, you know what? Look, I ain't gonna lie. Frankenstein's a little freak bull. And if you don't know what a freak bull is, you can go to urbandictionary.com and you can type that in. Frankenstein is a freak bull. And my boy's is looking to mate. He's lonely. He's been lonely for 100 years. He's had people chasing him. He's, the torches and all this stuff. And my boy's ready to just clap some cheeks. I don't know if we can say that on YouTube anymore, but that's what our boy Frankenstein is up to. So we find out, about Frankenstein's goal of the clappity clap cheeks. The doctor is kind of off at first. She's like, "You want me to help you dig up a body?" And there's a cool line where he refers to as a mad scientist. It's really cool how it played out. I was digging the chemistry between Frankenstein and the doctor. It was pretty neat, pretty cool. So they dig up Ida. They go through the monster creation scene. Pretty solid scene, I will say. I love, like, the way, like, it was dark, and then it comes to like a lighter setting, showing her coming alive and all that. That was really well shot, really well done. Good job, guys, on that. But yeah, the way the camera panned and it was going back and forth and all that, beautiful. I did love that. So we have her alive. We know the goal here. We know what Frankenstein wants. Ida's lost her memories. She's here, and now they have to, like, groom her. So how am I feeling after the first act? Because that's all the first act. After the first act, I'm feeling all right. I'm like, you know what? Good start. I'm very interested. Let's see what's gonna happen in the second act. So we get these montages, or series of scenes where it's showing Frankenstein. He's doing something he really enjoys to do. I don't want to ruin it. It's not really ruining, but whatever. But there's something he really enjoys to do. He's taking the bride to do that. He's getting to know her. They're bonding, whatever. And she just wants to do more. And it could be that who she was previously, before she became, this creature brought back to life. it could be what she was before is kind of like slowly coming out of her, but she wants to do more. She doesn't want to just be trapped in these settings. And actually, that's when he starts taking her to do the things that he enjoys as well. And then they finally go somewhere that she's it's more her element. They finally get there, and I just there's no way to really hide this because something has to launch them into the story. But we get a really brutal kill, and when this kill happens, I was like, oh snap! Like, are we gonna veer into this direction? Is just gonna get really dark from here? Where are they going? Because the previews, I don't think it shows too much, which is good. I'm happy it didn't. Because like in Scream 7, they showed way too much in the previews. So I'm wondering if this is just gonna be like them like becoming she becomes like a monster and she starts doing all this stuff and he wants to protect her and whatever. But after that brutal kill that we get, the vibe for this movie and how it's probably going to go the rest of the way pops off. Like he really cares about her, and this is a gothic love story. That is what this movie is. It's a gothic love story, which I mean, pretty much you're going to figure that just from one of the opening lines in the movie when it starts. But it can still go either way, even with them saying that. And I mean, I guess you could assume from the previews and because it's Frankenstein and his bride that it's going to end up being a love story and it has that gothic feel in the previews. So pretty much, yeah, we got a gothic love story. The second act is over. How do I feel? So after the second act, I'm like, okay, I know the path here now. This is going to be like your Bonnie and Clyde or any movie you really can name where there's a dude, there's a girl, and they're going to be going through some adventures together. And where's this going to lead? What is going to happen? So for the third act, and as I said, there's no way to really walk you down because it's just going to ruin too much. Like if I were to walk you down the third act, you're going to watch it and be like, well, this ain't that exciting. He already told me this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, then this is going to happen. So really all I can say is in the third act, there's a lot of stuff that gets tied up or starts to get tied up, and she starts to realize some things, and he's trying to do what he do because the boy in love, the boy wanting to clappity clap clap. So he's doing whatever. Things are starting to get found out, and this is where the acting like really shines with the lady that is playing the bride. She really does seem confused, and just you could just tell that she always wanted to just feel more. She always wanted to be something, and even through her losing memories with being resurrected, it's still coming out that she just wants to be happy with whatever it is. She don't remember who she is, whatever her memories are that she can't, remember. She's trying to get back. She wants them to be happy memories. She wants everything that was in her past that she's trying to remember to be glorious. And when she starts to find some things out, it's pretty crazy. Like watching her transitioning with her acting and her just coming to terms and realization. And when we get to the end of the third act, the scene at the movie theater, the drive-through, I won't ruin it. That was a good scene. I thought it was a really, really great scene. But how am I feeling after this third act? Honestly, I'm kind of weirded out because not that it's a love story or anything like that, because I love all types of movies. It's just because of a lot of things that happened even in the second act that just didn't make any sense. But with this being a creature feature, you kind of just have to accept it. So that's the only reason why I won't let it fully affect my final thoughts on the film, because you just gotta accept it. And I was like, man, like, okay, I mean, this better just have like a damn good ending then. So then we get to the final act. The final act, Christian Bale really shined. Like, I always thought he was a good actor anyway, but you could tell he was even coming to terms with things, and he was ready to ride or die on that. And everything they go through in the final act, it was some pretty solid stuff. Even given that at this point, I'm just like, this movie, okay. the things they go through are pretty crazy, and we it's I don't want to say it drags because the way the whole final act paces, it was needed because you could not rush through all of that because every single scene you cut through in that final act, it is needed. It is needed all the way until that final part and what happens in the very end. And I'll say by the end of the movie, because we'll just jump into how I felt after the final act and after the after credit scenes. I felt like I feel okay. Like I'm like, you know what? It was worth the watch. I could see why a lot more women would stand tall on this movie because there's a lot of women empowerment with this movie, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating on that at all. I'm just saying, like, some things that are said, like even when there's a part where she's questioning who am I, and it says the answer, because that probably happens a couple times through the film, but this time the way it's answered, you could tell it's like woman empowerment, and this how in command this character was through the movie. I could see a woman rating this movie probably zero point 0.5 higher than I rated the movie, and maybe even higher because if you're into gothic love stories, you're gonna probably think this is a 4 out of 5. Like that's just probably how you're gonna feel. But for me, after everything was said and done and smoke cleared, I'd say this movie was a 3 out of 5. It was okay. It was worth the watch. It would have been cool to get a popcorn bucket for this movie. Have something with like Frankenstein or like The Bride. Like that'd been pretty cool, but we didn't get that. But I thought the movie was okay. So the movie had some ups. It had some really good climbs. It had some downs, some weird stuff, some great acting. Oh my gosh, like there was some great acting in this film. But as a whole, yeah, I just have to stand on that. So would I say it's worth seeing in the movie theater? As long as you appreciate a gothic love story, yes, it is worth seeing in the movie theater. If you do not like a gothic love story, then no, you might as well just wait to watch this at home. Or if there's someone that wants to see it on a date or something, take them to go out and see it on date night. So that's all I have for today for The Bride. Thank you for joining me for this review. You guys have a great day. See you later.